You know, I actually forgot Nintendo made these cool little sleeves for your NES carts. I'm surprised they still hold up after all these years.
Let's get it. Yeah.
Greetings, comrades. This is Neffex Caleb, back with another retro game haul video. It's been putting off for a while because I was still waiting for a few games to show up. And one still hasn't shown up yet, but I'm just going to relegate that to a short. Because I'm getting tired of waiting. I've been putting this off long enough. It's not a huge haul of games, but it's definitely quite a few games I got from eBay. And yeah, it's mostly Super NES games. Because I'm trying to build that collection up a little bit. But I did get two NES games. Yeah, I might as well show them in these little sleeves that they came in, and they're both shooters. First one is Zanak from FCI. Pretty challenging shooter. Played a little bit when I got it. Yeah, takes a little getting used to. Still trying to figure out all the power-ups and stuff and all that stuff. But I've seen videos of it. It's a pretty fun little shooter, and doesn't say when it was made, but yeah. Pretty cool shooter. But what's an even better shooter? Life Force. Yes, it's basically a sort of a sister game to Gradius, which was also on the NES. And there is a Famicom version of Gradius 2. It was never released on the actual NES, so I might hunt that down on eBay later on. Especially since I have that little adapter, so I can play Famicom games on the Retron 3. But yeah, Life Force, pretty awesome shooter. It's pretty much the same vein as Gradius. Like you collect power-ups and you can power up your ship. Like have the little option drones flying around, have lasers and stuff, and has some different backgrounds and stuff. I believe the arcade version also has vertical stages. I don't recall if this one has any because, well, I barely started playing it. And it's a fun shooter if hard, but you know it's a Konami shooter. Of course, it's going to be hard. And like I said, it's like Gradius, so naturally it'll be hard. And we'll speak a little bit more about Gradius later on. And yeah, I'll hang on to these sleeves. I'm not really gonna use them. I just mainly show them off in this video here. Now for the Super Nintendo games, and I got quite a few in here, and there's one I'm gonna say for last because it has sentimental value to me. But first, let's show these off. These are my first Super Famicom games. And for those who don't know, yeah, the Super Famicom's the basically the non-American version of the Super Nintendo. It was released in Europe and obviously Japan. And what's interesting, their game carts, they still fit in like a Super Nintendo slot, but due to the way the consoles are built, it'll let you know whether or not it's actually compatible with that system or not. Because again, some of these games are for PAL, while some are for NTSC-J. And might as well show these off. You have Tetris Forever to thank for this. I got Super Tetris 2 and Bombless. This is the original version, and here's the limited edition version. They're pretty much the same game, so this one, the Bombless mode, it has different puzzles and stuff. That's pretty much the only difference, but they're both cheap. They're both under 20 bucks. I think they're under 15 bucks actually, so that's why I got these. And I also ordered Super Tetris 3. That's the game that hasn't showed up yet. That'll be relegated to a short, so yeah. Yeah, I've been playing these a lot on Tetris Forever. They're easily my favorite games in that compilation. I decided to get the actual physical cards for these. And funny thing, these were only released in Japan. Yeah, but I play these they're certainly a lot better than the Tetris games we did get for the Super NES. Not that they were bad, it's just like they weren't my favorites. They weren't as good as the NES games, let's put it that way. At least in my opinion. But yeah, Super Tetris 2 basically has Tetris, but the second game is Bombless. What's interesting about it is that you I mainly put the puzzle mode. Basically, it sort of behaves like Tetris, but you have to set off bombs in order to clear the blocks. It's not like a traditional line clear. You have to, if there's a bomb in the line, it'll set it off. But if it's just like one single bomb, it'll like clear up only a certain portion of it. But the more line clears you have, and the more bombs are in place, the larger the blast radius will be, and it'll clear out more lines. And if you put 4 bombs in a square, it'll form a bigger bomb, which will cover a much larger area. So Really cool gameplay for Bombless. Like I said, the Limited Edition just has different puzzles and stuff, but really awesome game. Still waiting for Super Tetris 3, and there's also Super Bombless, which is a different game. Might order that later because it's also pretty cheap. Yeah. First ever Super Famicom games. Yes, these do work on the Retron 3. We'll also just make sure you set the switch on the bottom to NTSC J, otherwise I won't recognize it. And the Retron 5, they'll pretty much work on there flawlessly. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm pretty sure they'll work though. Now for the actual Super Nintendo games, and I got 5 of them. And this one I'm going to save for last, but I might as well show off these games here. First one, we'll get back to Gradius. Gradius 3. Yeah. Very awesome shooter. I know the arcade version was legendarily hard, and it lagged a lot too. Like a lot of slowdown stuff. This one's same deal. It also omitted a few stages from the arcade version, and even changed a few parts of the last stage. So it's a lot different than the arcade version. And yeah, I never beat this game. I came close. I got to the final boss, but the final run after the boss, I could never beat it. I simply did not have the reflex to play it. But yeah, Gradius 3, awesome game. And the Konami code works on this too, though. If you enter the full Konami code, you'll blow your ship up. So don't press start when you enter the Konami code, and you'll get your power-ups and stuff. Even that won't help you much, because this game is pretty hard. Next up, I remember renting this a lot, and definitely a fun game. Mech Warrior 3050. Now, what's cool about this? Yeah, you play as a mech. Apparently, you're in Clan Wolf. You're probably in the Mad Cat here, or the Timberwolf, as Intersphere calls it. And the gameplay is similar to the Strike games. Like, you have this isometric view, and you have to destroy like certain buildings and stuff to progress to the level and stuff. And you have to like pick up ammo and like destroy certain targets. And every now and then you'll encounter an enemy mech, and you have to like have a little fight to the death. Because yeah, you may be in a giant mech, but that doesn't mean you're invincible. So yeah, really fun game. If I never made it past the second level, because yeah, one of these days I will. And next up, I mentioned Tetris earlier. I'll show off the 2 Tetris games. This is what we got in America, Tetris 2. This is pretty much a 16-bit version of the Tetris 2 on the NES, and it's far different from your traditional Tetris game. Instead of having line clears and stuff, like setting up a line of blocks and then clear up, you have to. It plays like Dr. Mario. Like you have to. There are bombs in the playfield, and you have to line up at least a row of 4 to clear out the bombs. So it plays more like Dr. Mario than Tetris. Still a fun game, but not my favorite Tetris game. Next up, I wouldn't really call this a Tetris game, even though it has Tetris in the title. Tetris Attack. But yeah, this isn't your typical Tetris game. Instead, it's a match 3 Tetris puzzle game. And you play as different characters from like Yoshi, the Yoshi's Island universe. Naturally, I picked Yoshi, and there are a few other characters like Shy Guy and stuff like that. But yeah, you only switch blocks horizontally, and you have to line up 3 or more to set them off. And instead of blocks falling down, they're going up, and you have to like clear them out before they reach the top of the screen. Pretty fun game. I actually played this before. A little game called Pokemon Puzzle League on the Nintendo 64, like 30,000 years ago. Nintendo 64, hell yeah. Yeah, it was a decent puzzle game. It's no Tetris, but it's still a decent puzzle game. And here's the last game for this collection, this little haul video. And I mainly got this for sentimental reasons. And, well, I'll explain. This is Doom on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, they were one of the pricier carts I ordered. It's like 45 bucks. And yeah, not the best version of Doom to play, but I got this for sentimental reasons, you know. Back when we had a Super Nintendo, my dad and I played this a lot, and we would try to find all the secrets, and like I would like help him find, like, go through the level, and he would do the same for me, help me find secrets and stuff, and playing through it, especially on the harder difficulties, because I remember you can't play the Shores of Hell or Inferno on the easier difficulties. It at least hurt me plenty. Yeah, this is back when I was still getting into this game, but yeah, my dad and I play this a lot, and pretty much got this, to remember and buy. Yeah, and the biggest reason is, well, this is how I got my start with Doom. This is the first version of Doom I ever played. This is before I got to the PC version, but I started here. Then I played Doom 64. I still have Doom 64. Then I played the Doom 3 on the Xbox, and then I played the classic versions on the collector's edition, and then I eventually moved on to PC. The rest is history. This isn't the best version of Doom, but I'm aware of that. I play it now and I forget how sluggish it feels and how ugly it looked, at least by today's standards. But this is not the worst version of Doom. That goes to the Sega Saturn and 3DO versions. So yeah, not the best version of Doom, but the red cart is enticing because you see a different color cart other than gray for Super Nintendo games. You're in for something special. Like Killer Instinct had a black cart, Doom had a red cart, even though it's not the best version of Doom, and a few others I can't think of on the top of my head. But yeah, this is how I got my start with Doom, and this channel here, focusing on Doom content. My original channel was Doom content, and trying all the different source ports and mods and stuff. So yeah, pretty much without Doom, without GZ Doom, without Russian Overkill and all those other mods and stuff, neither of these channels would exist. Like, plain and simple. Neither of these channels would exist were not for Doom. And again, not the best version of Doom to play, but again, I got this for sentimental reasons. And yeah, that is my long put off retro game haul video here. Might as well set off the games here. Might as well line them up here. Got my 5 NES games with the 6th one on the way soon. Well, actually, no, the 6th game is a Super Famicom game, so yeah. So, my 5 Super Nintendo games, my 2 Super Famicom games, and my 2 NES games. But yeah, then we slowly build up my, like I keep saying, I'm focused on games that either interest me or games that I've had nostalgia with. And most these games anyway, these 2 and this one here, definitely have nostalgia for me. This especially. Anyway, this is I'm gonna Caleb signing out. Y'all have a good day.
Suck it up, life's tough, we know that. Someone's got better stuff and can throw cash. Tell them I don't give a fuck, make my own path. I don't need no handouts, I'm my own man. Gotta get it, I'll get it and fast, yeah. Got a girl and she'll get it, she bad, yeah. Man, I only get down with the best, I'ma leave the complaints with the rest,